Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. We are live on Facebook, X, YouTube, Rumble. Joined alongside Tim in Green Bay, here to talk some Packers this evening. How you doing, Tim?
Good, man. Happy to be here, talking some ball. Hopefully get a little chalk talk in tonight, getting primed up. We're like 2 weeks away from camp, right? A lot to be excited for, man.
So excited, man. 2 weeks away, and we're actually just about, what would that be, 9 days away. 9 days away from quarterbacks and rookies reporting, I believe, if I understood correctly. So it's right around the corner, gang. Make sure you
rookies, and I'm willing to bet Josh Jacobs at camp a little early for sure.
There'll be a lot of the team leaders hovering around the campus. That's for sure, man. As we summer start, I don't want to say starting to wind down, but we're getting there, and at least beyond the halfway point. It feels like it's like as soon as you start to close in on August, it's football season, man. There's no two ways about that.
Speaking of closing in on August, I want to give a big shout out to my brother from another mother, Tony, out there in Kuwait, serving our country right now. Looks like the timeline is lining up. He's going to be back in a couple weeks here. Looks like early to mid-August. Should be in home just in time for some Packers football. So thank you for your service, brother, and can't wait for you to get home, man.
Yeah, very well said. Thank you for that, Tony. Appreciate you over there, man, doing the important stuff as we just sit back home like a bunch of lazy, fat idiots talking football. You know what I mean? So appreciate appreciate you serving the country. All right, tonight, guys, what we're going to get into is a little Barron Sorrell talk and just kind of paint a little bit of a picture of why I've got a little bit of hope for Barron Sorrell maybe being a potential, playmaker in this defense under Jeff Hafley. We'll also talk a little Matthew Golden and kind of draw a little bit of a comparison with him and Greg Jennings. We'll hit into that. And then we'll also do the Matthew Golden chalk talk. We'll kind of revisit some of his college tape. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Hit that subscribe button on your way in. Feel free to hit like on the stream as well. Listen, we're not experts. We're not insiders here. We don't claim to be. We're definitely not media members. You'll catch on to that real quick. What we are is just like you guys and gals. We're fans. We're fans of the Packers. When we come in, we talk daily with live streams, typically about 6:30 p.m. Central Time every evening. We do a lot of different content during the season as well. We do pregame shows, postgame shows. We do camp breakdown when training camp gets kicked off. We'll be bringing live updates there as well. So if you
check out my reports from outside the fence. If you wanted any indicator that we are not insiders, you can find me at training camp with the rest of you guys outside of the fence for sure.
So if you like daily Packers content, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate y'all being a part of what we're creating here at PTA for the fans, by the fans. Let's jump into a little Barron Sorrell chalk, or not chalk talk, but a quick little article. I thought this was cool, Tim, and I'm going to try to read it fast for you guys. Just put some information together, was combing through and kind of drawing comparisons with other players on the team, because typically when you draft someone, Tim, the first thing that you want to do is kind of, all right, what's the comp? Right? Like, what do you expect him to do? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? That type of approach. So let's just jump into it. I said, is this rookie the future of the Packers defense? What if the Green Bay Packers are running a play that's already proven successful? We've seen Rashan Gary transform from a raw athletic prospect into the team's premier pass rusher. Now the Packers appear to be following the same script with rookie Barron Sorrell. With Gary himself guiding the way, here's why Sorrell could be the next cornerstone of Green Bay's defense. There's a shot of our boy Rashan Gary when he played for the Michigan Wolverines. So here's the blueprint for a superstar. To understand Sorrell's potential, we first need to revisit the blueprint. Rashan Gary, selected 12th overall in 2019. Gary was a polarizing pick. His college stats were modest, but his athleticism was undeniable. The Packers saw a diamond in the rough and crafted a deliberate plan to polish him. Rather than thrusting Gary into a starting role, Green Bay eased him in. He learned from veterans like Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, absorbing lessons on professionalism, film study, and managing the NFL grind. Preston Smith, in particular, helped Gary refine his raw power into technical mastery. The result, Gary evolved from a rotational player into one of the NFL's most feared edge rushers. The formula was clear: draft an elite athlete, provide top-tier mentorship, and patiently build a star. Now the Packers are betting on the same approach with Sorrell. All right, let's meet the apprentice here. Barron Sorrell, a fourth-round pick out of Texas, may not have jaw-dropping college stats, 6 stats in his final season, but the Packers weren't chasing numbers. They were chasing traits. 6'3", 256 pounds. Sorrell is a powerful edge rusher with a relentless motor and a blue-collar work ethic. Sorrell steps into an ideal situation with Preston Smith as the actually, that was a typo there, with Rashan Gary as the seasoned veteran, I should say, and with Gary taking the reins as the edge rusher room's leader. The student has become the teacher. During the draft process, Sorrell revealed he models his game after Gary, studying his film and noting their similar builds. He's eager to learn directly from his idol. The hunger, the mentor, and the blueprint are all in place. All right, let's talk about the tale of two rushers here. The similarities between Gary and Sorrell are striking. First, both excel at setting the edge against the run. You guys know that's something that Gary has proven to be very, very effective at. Also, he rushes with power, right? And you kind of see a lot of similarities in Barron Sorrell's game to Rashan Gary and what he's established, for sure. Gary's explosive first step and violent punch make him a master at controlling his gap. Scouts praise Sorrell for the same mindset at Texas, noting his powerful, smart run defense. His punishing strikes knock tackles off balance, and while his technique isn't as polished as Gary's, the foundation, power, leverage, and attitude is there. Second, both share a devastating bull rush. Gary's signature move is overpowering tackles with strength and leverage, driving quarterbacks into the ground. I've noticed too with Gary, he likes that straight arm. He'll do the dip and rip, and he loves getting that inside arm, that inside hand on the inside breastplate of the tackle, straightening out, and just driving them right into the quarterback, man. That's definitely his kind of go-to play there for sure. So let's see, where were we at? Sorrell, too, generates surprising power with heavy hands and a nonstop motor. While he needs to refine his speed-to-power conversion, Gary's mentorship could help him master the timing and hand placement that makes this move lethal. Finally, both players share an unteachable trait: relentless effort. Gary's backside chases on seemingly dead plays are legendary, and Sorrell brings that same fire. Described as a relentless second-effort rusher, he refuses to stay blocked, meeting Green Bay's defensive standard before even stepping onto Lambeau Field. I'm going to pause there for a second, Tim, as we look at the PFF grades for Barron Sorrell. In 2021, 54.9 with minimal snaps. He jumps to a 63, then to a 72, and drops back just a touch to a 71. So you're kind of seeing him stabilize there in the low 70s, according to PFF, with his defensive prowess. So the defensive grade 71.5 last year, run defense grade 73, pass rush grade of 74. You see what we're talking about, like with the similarities between him and Gary? They play very similar in terms of the moves they use. There's nothing flashy. You don't see Gary throw a spin move out there, try to throw a hezzy step or anything. It's just simply bull rush, control your gap. And I love that it mentioned the backside pursuit too on some of those run plays. When we get to the Rashan Gary Chalk Talk episode, you're going to see him. It's all over the tape. Him coming from the opposite side of the field and actually making the run stop was phenomenal last year. So,
how cool was it to be at 1265 when Barron Sorrell got drafted? Wasn't that like just a special moment, right, Clay? I mean, just to see it, man. And I like the comp in the article when they describe, what Preston Smith did to help Rashan out during his first couple of years, kind of refine that game, because, Rashan coming out of Michigan was a bit of a raw talent. I think we would all agree that, no ceiling or extremely high ceiling, but yet needed to refine his game a little bit, work on some of the technical aspects, some of the finesse moves, get your FBI up a little bit. And that you can't just be pure unadulterated power all the time. You have to bring more to your game. So it's going to be really cool to see Rashan kind of being the leader now with a young raw talent like Barron Sorrell stepping into the fold. And I think it's real similar. I look at Barron Sorrell. I mean, the guy's a physical freak. The numbers are there. Powerful, athletic dude. But you're going to need a mentor to kind of guide you into your own as you play at the National Football League level. And you can't just do it with speed or power. You've got to get the technical aspect. You got to get your fundamentals down. And obviously your football IQ's got to be through the roof to play at the next level. So I think it's awesome to see, Barron Sorrell coming into this situation with a guy like Rashan to kind of maybe lead by example. We know Rashan's not the most vocal leader. He has his moments of intensity, but he's more of a lead by example dude. And Barron Sorrell strikes me as the type of guy that'll pick up on that. And it doesn't have to be about talking the talk all the time. We can just go out there and walk the walk together. So a lot to look forward to in his rookie year for sure.
Definitely. And I went ahead and pulled it real quick. This is what Tim was talking about. We were actually in the bowl at Lambeau when they made this draft pick. We were there live for the draft. Let's kind of watch it here. This was a really, really cool moment amongst other Packer fans in the bowl. Keep in mind, outside, the parking lot was just jam-packed around the stage, right? And then, of course, we were in the bowl with a handful of fans. This was awesome.
You sent somebody else out there. They're booing us. This young man is here today, so we want to introduce him. So give him a big round of applause. With the 124th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Barron Sorrell, defensive end, Texas. Let's go!
Hoping the music doesn't get us a copyright because there was a little bit of something playing there, but you see the embrace there. And Barron Sorrell, man, the fact that he was there on his dime, went to the draft, and for him to get drafted by the Packers, absolutely awesome. And the fact that Goody didn't even know, right? Goody had no idea that he was even there. Because some people go, oh, this was planned. It wasn't planned at all, man. It's pretty cool.
I don't think so. And it goes to show you, like, imagine what Goody's, vertical board looked like, right?
Right.
It could have been one of those scenarios where he knew, 20 minutes before the pick that we were going to draft Barron Sorrell. And what a really awesome moment for him to be there. And then, shortly after that, like you said, we actually went out of the lower bowl and went out to the parking lot over there on the east side of the stadium. And, you got to see those cool moments with, Barron working the crowd and just, being welcomed into the fold in Green Bay here. It was just a special moment. And it's really cool how things just kind of worked out, right? And now we're talking about how he's going to fit into this Jeff Hafley defense. It's something to be really excited about.
Yeah. And, you're probably thinking, why focus on a fourth-round pick? One of the things we put in this article here, check this out. Because developing players like Sorrell is how you sustain a championship roster. And the NFL salary caps force tough choices, making it critical to hit on draft picks who contribute on cost-effective rookie deals. The Packers have a strong track record of finding gems in the fourth round, and Sorrell could be the latest success story. So in 2022, Goody drafted Romeo Doubs with the 132nd pick. That was a fourth-round pick. And then 8 picks later at pick 140, he took Zach Tom, who's about to become one of the highest-paid offensive tackles in the game, right? Now, in 2023, there was no fourth-round pick for the Packers. If my studying was correct, you guys correct me if I'm wrong there. 2024, who did he draft? Evan Williams with the 111th pick, right? And then, of course, you got back to Jacob Monk at pick 136. In 2025, obviously, we selected Barron Sorrell. I think it was pick 127, if I remember correctly. A defensive line with a high motor, blah, blah, blah. So Green Bay's edge rusher room is poised for a new contributor. Gary is the alpha, but Lucas Van Ness needs to take a step forward, and the depth behind them lacks consistency. This creates a golden opportunity for Sorrell to carve out a rotational role immediately. GM Brian Gutekunst praised Sorrell's power and length, noting they could get him on the field early. If Sorrell becomes a reliable number 2 or 3 rusher, the Packers maintain an elite pass rush without relying on expensive free agents. Following in the footsteps of the recent fourth-round successes, Sorrell's development could keep the team building machine humming, ensuring Green Bay remains a contender for years to come. Tim, it's very, very important to understand that edge defenders are one of the highest paid positions in the game. You know, people complain that Rashan Gary is going to be $25 million against the cap this year, but they don't mention that the top edge rushers are going for $40 million. You're literally talking about I don't know, what would that be, 30% less that you're getting Rashan Gary, who led your team in sacks, led your defensive line in run stops, the whole 9 yards, right? So it's money well spent, in my opinion. Last year, I think he was $17 million against the cap. They like to lean on this number that we haven't even seen him play under yet, right? And can say the production last year isn't worth the $25 million this year. That's not how it works. You're paying someone for what you expect them to do, not what they just did. So I think the money that's been spent on Gary was well spent. But the point is, with someone like Baron Sorrell, you need to get him on a rookie deal for 4 years. If you hit on this and Lucas Van Ness takes a step forward, and Brenton Cox Jr. continues to grow like he has, man, that dude he was great last year, led the team in pressure percentage. So if that all falls into place, your edge room is going to be in a really, really good spot, especially coming into year 3 and 4 of Rashan Gary's contract, right? Because when you step into that, now you got to start making a decision. When do we cut ties with Gary? Because I think it'll more likely be something like we did with Preston Smith. You restructure the deal a little bit more guaranteed money, lower the overall value of the contract, and he stays with the Packers. You got LVN coming up for his new contract by then. Baron Sorrell will be kind of where LVN is right now. And who knows, man, Brenton Cox Jr. might end up being the real deal. Colin Oliver's another one. So.
Absolutely. And we've talked about it before, right? You know, Goody gets a lot of hate from a large portion of the fan base, but you know, you and I have discussed this a few times on the pod is, you know, you want to judge your GM, look at what he does, you know, outside of that third round. You know, anyone can pick first, second, third round draft picks. Are you getting good value, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 round UDFAs, free agent pickups? You know, that's how you should judge your GM. And I think, you know, to your point about Rashan, we're in a good position because, first of all, I don't think Rashan Gary's looking to leave Green Bay. I think, if they gave him a respectful restructure offer in the near future, I'm sure he'd sign it and he would just stay here and continue his career in Green Bay while these younger guys kind of come up behind him. But it's a testament to our front office and our GM as to how we put these position groups together, because, you know, it's almost like Goody's learned from the mistakes that we've made in the past. You know, we love Ted Thompson. We love the Ted Thompson era, but you know, he missed on a few of those picks, you know, and every GM's going to miss on picks. But I think Goody's made it a point that, you know, we're going to keep a steady crop of young talent, whether it's early to mid to late round draft picks or free agents, UDFAs, whatever. And we're never going to allow ourselves to, you know, fall into a position where we had a safety room like we had, you know, a few years ago, for example. We're not going to allow ourselves to regress. We're going to constantly get better and, you know, keep the veterans that we have, but, you know, stay youthful and stay developing. You know, draft and develop is not just a quarterback strategy. You know, it works across position groups. So big props to our front office for sure.
Yeah, a dose of reality. Sorrell isn't a finished product, which is why he fell to the 4th round. His pass rush arsenal is limited, often relying on effort over a refined plan. His arm strength isn't elite, which can leave him stuck on blocks, and he lacks the top-tier bend to consistently win around the edge. The NFL jump is steep, and effort alone won't cut it. But here's the good news. His weaknesses are coachable. Developing a pass rush plan and honing technique are exactly what Gary and the Packers staff excel at. Sorrell's flaws stem from a lack of polish, not talent, and Green Bay has a track record of turning raw prospects into stars. And one thing I want to point out here, too, the points per game allowed last year, points per play allowed last year, the Packers finished 5th last year. So it's not like Sorrell's got to come in and Colin Oliver's got to come in and, oh, guys, we got to get this defense going, right? The defense they're in a really, really good spot establishing some success last year, right? We talked about the run defense being second in the league. We talked about the pass defense being top 10. Some metrics have them around number 7. Others have them around number 9. And then, of course, the points per play, as you guys know, having a little bit of a gambling background that I do, this is the most important statistic to help you determine how the score is gonna kind of swing in an NFL game. So 3.329 was the points per play allowed for the Packers last year. The future looks bright. Is Barron Sorrell the future of the Packers defense? The potential is undeniable. He has the physical tools, work ethic, and mentality that fit Green Bay's culture, that finished 5th in scoring defense last season. Most importantly, he has Rashan Gary as a mentor and a proven development plan to follow. Sorrell doesn't need to be an all-pro in 2025. If he learns from Gary, dominates in the run game, and hones a few pass rush moves, he'll be more than a draft steal. He'll be a cornerstone. Picture a prime Rashan Gary on one side, a polished Barron Sorrell on the other, and Lucas Van Ness wreaking havoc up the middle. You guys know there's been rumors he may kick inside to a little 3-tech. When we do the Rashan Gary chalk talk, we may do it next, as a matter of fact, because I want you guys to see there's a couple of snaps where he actually plays 3-tech. They may kick Gary inside on some of those pass rush downs as well. But it says wreaking havoc up the middle. That's the vision, and it's one Packer fans should be thrilled about. So what do you think? Do you see the parallels between Sorrell and Gary? Can Sorrell become a key rotational piece this season? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe here for more Packer analysis. Tim, you got anything else you want to add on Barron Sorrell? And I'm going to let you call the shots here. He may have had to step away. He was looking to take a call. I bet he did. So what we'll do is I'll call the shots here, and we'll decide on what we're going to do next. Let's let the chat. I'm going to ask the chat here. Which direction do y'all want to go? Would you rather go Matthew Golden or Rashan Gary? Which would y'all rather talk about? Matthew Golden or Rashan Gary? I know Tim is taking a call right now. Matthew Golden, Rashan Gary. Which would y'all? Golden? That's what I figured, Bates. That's what I thought it would be. Let's do it. Let's jump into some Matthew Golden, all right? We got another article here on Matthew Golden, and I was just kind of trying to think of a comp for Matthew Golden. And the best one that I come up with when you really watch his tape, yes, he's a speed demon, but for me, he kind of reminds you of Greg Jennings. He reminds you of a faster Greg Jennings. Greg Jennings wasn't the biggest receiver, right? He wasn't. What's up, Nick? Nick finally caught a show live, my man. Good to see you in here, Nick McSwain. You know, Greg Jennings wasn't the fastest, but he had a knack with the footwork, the release package he had. He could beat you deep. If you don't believe me, go back and watch. I think it was the Monday Night Football game against Denver where Favre hit him in overtime, first play of overtime for the Tutter to win the whole thing.
Also a master of the contested catch, able to go over the middle, take a shot, hold on to the football.
Yeah, strong hands for sure. So Packers drafted the perfect wide receiver for Jordan Love. For 23 years, the Green Bay Packers have already drafted wide receiver in the first round. You guys know this. Fans embrace day two gems like Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, and Devontae Adams. But in 2025, Goody broke the streak, selecting Texas speedster Matthew Golden at pick 23, a perfect weapon to elevate Jordan Love offense. Here's why. As you see the shot of our crybaby, what's his name on ESPN? It's always Ryan Clark, right? Ryan Clark, always whining about something, right? The missing piece, the 2025 Packers offense is dynamic with Jordan Love leading versatile receivers like Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, and Dontavion Wicks, yet it lacked one thing, a true speedster that possesses short burst quickness as well. Watson has straight line speed, but Green Bay needed a 4-3 burner with quickness underneath to force defenses to adjust a role not filled since Greg Jennings' prime. Love's deep ball demanded a receiver who could erase cushions instantly while simultaneously forcing them to peek underneath, and the Packers finally went all in. I love that shot right there, by the way, with the visor, man. Got the SEC logo off the visor. You got my Kentucky Wildcat getting posterized here, Tim. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Absolutely embarrassing.
Full throttle stiff arm right there from Matthew Golden. Gotta love it.
Insert Matthew Golden at pick 23. The Packers nabbed Golden, whose 4.29 40-yard dash led all receivers at the NFL Combine. His 1.49 10-yard split tied for the best. Showcases explosive bursts at 5'11", 195 pounds. He's built for the NFL, but moves like a track star. His speed, faster than Jennings' 4.42, forces safeties to backpedal, reshaping defenses and unlocking the field. Tim, what do you think about that comp between him and Greg Jennings? And listen, he's got the speed to take the top off the defense, but his quick feet, as you guys have seen, that's the one thing that Jordan Love mentioned from the mini camps is this kid looks polished. They said, one word to describe him. He said polished. Good route runner, strong hands. He reminds me of Jennings, but again, like they said, Jennings 4.42 and our boy Matthew Golden 4.29, man. What do you think?
Yeah, a little bit faster, and I would argue maybe Matt Golden's a little more polished as a rookie than even Greg Jennings was coming into the NFL. So it's a lot to be excited about. I think it's a fair comp. I think it's a natural comp for us Packer fans to make. We're not that far removed from Greg Jennings playing some damn good football for us, despite whatever back and forth extracurricular was going on with him and 12 during his time here. Those guys found ways to win football games and get it done. But I think when you're talking, all BS aside, you're just talking about, X's and O's or, player comparison. I see a lot of Matt Golden in Greg Jennings and vice versa. But I do think that, much like we said when Scoot was drafted, we made a lot of comparisons, between other Packers and him. And, I was of the frame of mind that, he's the next him. Matt Golden is the next Matt Golden. There's no one else like him. But when you're talking about prototypical player or body type, receiver type, I think it's legit to compare him to a young Greg Jennings in his prime for sure.
Yeah. AFAM in the chat says AFAM holds his breath when Love chucks a deep ball. I bet AFAM throws up in his mouth when he sees that stat every time that Jordan Love led the league in what was it, completions of 20-plus air yards or more, Tim, with 24 of all quarterbacks while battling 3 injuries. AFAM, man, it's got to suck.
AFAM, I'm calling your mom. You're talking crap about my quarterback again, man. I'm going to call your mom.
AFAM's the only one I know that we could be breaking down the excitement of a first-round receiver for the first time in 23 years or however long it was. And he bashes the quarterback while we do it. Got to love it. So, all right, game-breaking speed. Golden's speed translates on tape. His sudden release obliterates cushions with his 1.49 split, letting him close gaps before defenders react. A quick fake, and he's past corners, outrunning safeties. Defenses will need bracket coverage, but Golden's subtle moves can bait a false step, turning deep shots into touchdowns. He will stretch defenses, creating space for Jaden Reed and Tucker Kraft underneath. That's something we haven't talked about enough, Tim, is how when you put him on the field, and all it takes is, listen, I don't think NFL defenses are going to respect him right out of the gate. He's going to have to go out there and prove it. But once he stretches the defense once or twice, Tim, and they start to roll a little bit of cut, like, okay, you can handle this one or two ways. You can bracket cover with a safety over the top a little bit, or you can give your corner about 3 or 4 yards extra. That's what they did in college last year. And poor Quinn Ewers could not throw the ball far enough to keep him in stride. You could see Matthew Golden having to pull up the entire time. But the fact that once you hit on a couple of those, Tim, whether it's a post, a deep climb, or just a non-fade to go, it's really going to open things up underneath for Jaden Reed and Tucker Kraft. Now, I personally like that trips left, nub right look, where you can have Jaden Reed running a climb. You can have in the number 2, you could have our boy Matthew Golden running the go route, and then you could have Romeo or whatever other receiver running your deep dig. And what you do is you get 2 on a dagger slot cross combo. You can get 2 targets working across the front side of the quarterback, right? You can get your speed demon in Matthew Golden stretching the field vertically to open up space underneath or give you a one-on-one shot there. And then you have Tucker Kraft meshing against that on a shallow cross underneath, maybe even after a chip block to give Jordan enough time to take that shot throw if they decide to get a little bit aggressive. Man, it's exciting to think about what this could open up.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you're right about, defenses when it comes to addressing not just Matthew Golden, but any, first round rookie receiver in the league. I'm sure my boy Jaden Higgins is going to deal with it too. Respect is earned in this league. It's not given. Defenses might respect the speed because it's on tape, right? It's in the scouting report, but he's going to have to show it. And I think you're right. It's going to take a handful of plays like that for him to win those matchups before you start seeing defenses rotating coverage and accounting for him.
Yeah. H.E. Solder says if they can get Golden and Watson on the field at the same time, oh boy. And that's the thing too, Solder, is like we kind of talked about, and I know you were in here the other night, we did the Savion Williams breakdown of how he can play that wing back. He can handle some of the underneath stuff in the jet sweeps and things that Christian Watson did his rookie year and on into his career a little bit deeper. while Christian Watson gets healthy, Savion can handle that aspect and let Matthew Golden handle the deep Z stuff, the speed Z stuff, right? And then once you get Christian Watson back, man, I mean, that's when it's going to come down to who do you take off the field? I guess you take off Romeo Dobbs, right? The thought of it potentially being, if he's healthy, Christian Watson and Matthew Golden on each side of the field with Jaden Reed in the slot or the F and Tucker Kraft in the Y, Josh Jacobs in the backfield, man, sky's the limit. We just got to pray to sweet baby Jesus that our boy Christian Watson gets fully healthy and there's nothing lingering with that ACL for sure. But I'm with you.
My gut's telling me Scoot's ahead of schedule, man. I think it's going to be sooner than we think for sure.
I agree. All right, look at that grab right there, by the way, that one-handed grab.
No big deal.
Yeah, not a big deal at all. Is that Drew Rosenhaus back here in the background going, yeah, I need to get that dude under contract quick. Right.
He's thinking, man, when's the next time I'm going to be in Green Bay? I got to go to Republic, get a steak again, you know?
It's so funny, man, just sitting at the table next to Drew Rosenhaus eating a steak. I was just thinking, the first time I remember Drew Rosenhaus, I didn't know he was behind the scenes helping with Jerry Maguire, but the first memory I have of him was him being T.O.'s agent as T.O. was doing sit-ups in his driveway back in the day when he was about to run himself out.
I'm fully convinced Jerry Maguire is loosely based on Drew Rosenhaus.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. You had Ben Roethlisberger's his agent, if I remember correctly, I can't think of his name right now, his longtime agent was the one who kind of played the Jerry Maguire role, like he was the one helping Jerry with that.
Yeah.
And Drew Rosenhaus was helping our boy Jay Moore with his character, which is more brash, more aggressive agent. So yeah, really, really cool. That's a great movie, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it. It's Beyond Deep Routes. Golden isn't just a go route specialist in the red zone. He earned 31%. I repeat, 31% of his Texas targets came in the red zone, showing coaches trust. His patience and smart releases exploit defenders' blind spots. He pushes vertically, then bursts into slants or corners. Golden high points passes, securing them through contact, blending speed, agility, and smarts to win in tight spaces. The thing you'll notice on the tape, too, when we get to it here in a second, is he just has this unique ability to time the high points so well. To be a smaller receiver at 5'11", you expect a 6'2", 6'3" receiver to be able to high point a ball. You see someone who's 5'11", it's rare that you get a guy who's so good at timing that, because there's less room for error, obviously, not being a bigger body receiver. All right, moving along. Clutch performer. Golden shines brightest in the big moments. In the 2024 college football playoffs, he racked up 19 catches for 411 yards, averaging 3.37 yards per route ran. His route running, like on deep comebacks, is elite. He sells the go route, then stops on a dime for easy separation. You'll see that on the tape here in a second. His versatility makes him a 3-level threat, deployable anywhere by Matt LaFleur. Guys, he can play the X, he can play the Z, he can play the F. Going to take some time to understand the choice routes in Matt LaFleur's offense in order to really embed yourself in the F. But once he does get to that point, him and Jaden Reed are going to become so interchangeable. So, when you look at the PFF grades, obviously we've talked about this. He was only in college for 3 years, and what you're getting is a guy who is ascending, entering the league. It's absolutely paramount, according to Greg Cosell, that you want a guy who has shown progression every year. And it's like, okay, you're expecting him to take another step when he goes to the NFL. He's going to continue to refine his game. And then that's where it's up to the coaches to determine, all right, how do we want to deploy them within our offense or defense? But the PFF grades 65, 68, then 74, playing his best football. I wish we had the weekly breakdown, because I think his highest graded game all season long, according to PFF, was the SEC championship. So plays his best ball. Tim, when the stakes are the highest, it seems like.
Imagine what he's going to look like with a real quarterback throwing him the ball. It's going to be incredible.
Exactly.
And real similar to Bird. When we had Jaden Reed, he kind of struggled a little and then was peaking going into the draft. And it's a reason why we picked him up, right? It's a formula for success, man. You want the hot hand coming into your rookie year for sure.
Mm-hmm. Ron Sample says, how different are choice routes between systems? I mean, it depends on how far apart the systems are. Like if you've got, let's go college for a second, okay? let's say that Steve Sarkisian in Texas, and I don't know if he did or not, but let's just assume that he played a lot of nasty splits, right? And we did see a lot of motion. He used a lot of motion similar to what Matt LaFleur used in Green Bay. That's probably what kind of made Green Bay fall a little more in love with Matthew Golden. Now let's go over to Tennessee. It's right down the road from where I'm at. I root for Tennessee every game but one every year, right? I grew up a Kentucky fan. Usually we're getting our butts kicked by Tennessee. That's just the way it goes. But Tennessee and Josh Heupel's offense, he came from, I can't remember what school it was he came from. I know he's an Oklahoma alma mater. There was another school that he coached at for a short time. Might have been Wyoming or something like that. I could be wrong there. Nonetheless, he uses a lot of Baylor splits. When we say nasty splits, that means the receivers are lined up inside the numbers, right? A normal split is typically outside the numbers, like an even space between the numbers and the sideline. With Baylor splits, you're putting them right up on the out-of-bounds line. And what Josh Heupel does there in that offense is he doesn't have a whole lot of choice routes baked into his offense. It's more of an RPO or an RPR read system. And what he'll do is put those guys in those Baylor splits, Tim, and then that forces a light box for his running game. That's why you've seen their running back be so effective last year. I think they beat Florida at home. They beat Alabama on the road. Obviously, they made it to the playoff. They use a lot of, to answer Ron's question, I'm getting to the answer in a second. They use a lot of those Baylor splits as opposed to nasty. So, Ron, if you've got choice routes baked into your offense, it's going to be much different with a Baylor split than a nasty split. And with nasty splits, you play inside out. With Baylor splits, you play outside.
Or outside in, yeah. Do you think the route tree is a little bit more limited too? If you're in a Baylor split, you're that far to the boundary. You're running a go, you're running a curl, you're running a post maybe.
Yeah,
or a cross or something.
Unless you cheat motion inside, there's limited space on that sideline, right, Tim? It eliminates the outs, the hitches, all those things, right? The comebacks. So, very well said there.
You're kind of creating an extra defender for that defense, being that close to the sideline.
Right. And to answer your question, Ron, I think based off the tape that I've seen with Texas, he should have a pretty good grab or a similar. The point was he's going to be much more prepared for Matt LaFleur's choice routes based off how they lined up at Texas, as opposed to if he went to somewhere like Tennessee, if that makes sense. So there you go. Coach Lynn says Baylor split, go route, hitch, slant, and come back.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. The perfect fit. Drafting Golden wasn't about ending a trend. It completed a near elite offense. Speed, red zone savvy, and big game mentality are what Love needed. Golden makes everyone better, from Reed to Watson to Kraft. With him in the green and gold, the Packers aren't just contenders. They're a nightmare for the NFL, built to dominate for years. And the thing that stood out to me, Tim, as I read that last part there that was generated, if you'll remember, what's his name? Dan Orlovsky. When we drafted Matthew Golden, I remember we were back at the Airbnb. We had just wrapped up our show, our first night of draft coverage, and we were getting ready to bed down for the night. And I went to my phone and scrolled through Twitter, and there's Dan Orlovsky in a hotel lobby somewhere recording himself going, man.
Yep. Packers just crushed the draft. Yep.
He said, man, Green Bay, he went, this offense is going to be scary. Talking about the addition of Matthew Golden. So very, very excited about where they're going, man. I
agree. I remember that night. That was probably about an hour after I finally got over the fact that we didn't draft Jaden Higgins. But
right.
Let me tell you, as a guy who was totally standing for Jaden Higgins, I was pretty happy that Matthew Golden ended up being the guy that we picked. If you're going to go receiver in the first round, that was best available, right? We know that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it may not have necessarily been the best available on our board at the time. I mean, we had Matthew Golden fairly high. We definitely had a first-round grade on him. But we had, if I can find it, it'd be a mess trying to flip this thing over. I got to do it, though. It's going to bother me if I don't. Let's do it. Let's take a look.
Yeah, we had a little bit lower of a grade on him, but I'm just wondering what Goody's board looked like.
Oh yeah, he first round grade all the way. There's
for sure, for sure. And I think we still had a first round grade on Golden. I just don't think we had him.
Oh, we definitely did
going as high as he did. Yeah.
So here was the order that we had the wide receivers: Tet McMillan 1, Emeka Egbuka 2, Luther Burden 3, Matthew Golden 4.
Yep.
We had Jaden Higgins 5, Trey Harris 6, Jack Besh 7th.
Yep.
So again,
so in the words of the wonderful Hall of Famer Brett Favre,
his receiving is tough.
exactly. And he had 3 emojis on it, which is kind of like, all right, this is a guy that's probably going to be a target for the Packers. I remember too, you can go back and watch the live stream. We went around the horn. Who do we think it is? Who do we think it is? I said, I think it's Matthew Golden there. It makes all the sense in the world. Now, I said that and thought, they're not going to do it though.
we all thought that, right? We all thought for sure we were going O-line or something or
Right.
D-line in the first round. And, big shout out to the Packers, man.
Yeah.
They made history for sure.
All right, boys, let's do it. Chalk talk. Matthew Golden. We covered some of these plays earlier as soon as we drafted him. Now as the dust is kind of settling, let's get into a little bit of Chalk Talk Matthew Golden and kind of talk a little more detail of what to expect here. Okay, now you guys know the drill. If the stream goes down live here, we're going to stay up on Rumble and X, okay? We'll get this video edited and put up on YouTube later, but the stream may go down. So if it goes down, don't freak out. Just hop over to @Packers_access or just search for Packer Fan Total Access or Packers Total Access on Rumble. All right, you ready to do this, Tim?
Ready to go.
All right, we're going to go 75%. So if he looks slow, that's what it is. All right, guys, don't try
He's
to
still going to look fast. Let's go.
Exactly. All right, so the play here, we got 11 gun, cheat dubs stack, which mean we were in a dubs look, and then they're going to cheat him. We were in a tray left look, and we're cheating to dubs stack. All right, so what you're going to notice is this receiver is going to cheat over into a stack look behind Matthew Golden. This is Matthew Golden right here, okay? So he's technically playing the boundary X. We talk about this all the time. Boundary, short side of the field. He is the X because he's on the line of scrimmage opposite the tight end, okay? So again, he is playing X in this specific route. Now, again, notice where he's lined up to. He's inside the numbers, right? He's not too far outside, but he is going to be playing the boundary X, and he's just going to run a little slant here. This is real simple. Watch the quickness. Bang, right? I love how he gets his head around. Very, very aware of where the defense was. You can see like a little soft zone. Just find the space, make the play, make a guy miss. You see the juke, Tim?
Yep.
That's what we're talking about, man. Yak. It looks like Jaden Reed right there. Whoop.
Whoop. Bye. I like the patience right off the snap. You see the patience there to get in between the defenders and then get the head around immediately. I mean, it's timing in the route, man. Just beautiful.
And again, he should have been tackled at the 40, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So instead he puts his foot in the ground. So he goes 10, 20, 30, 38 yards from where he should have been tackled first. That was him.
Boy. Yak time, baby. Yak time.
That was him out of the boundary X. All right, up next, 12 gun, Dubs Nasty. This sounds familiar, does it not, boys? Nasty splits. It sounds like Matt LaFleur's offense. Probably why they locked him, right? We're going Dubs Nasty Z right here. Okay, so he's going to be playing the Z on this play. Now, why is he the Z? He is on the tight end side, the Y side of the field here. Okay, so we're going T left here in this specific look, but it's just going to be a little quick out, nothing fancy. Just get outside here, make a grab. He loves to work outside too, which is really cool. Just a quick little out, head around, grab the ball, see if you can get upfield, right? Takes 3 people to bring him
a
down.
little late buzzing down there to help out.
Yeah.
I mean,
but again, nothing flashy here, but again, just getting the head around. The strong hands is what I want you to key in on, right? He just looks natural catching the football. So
sure.
We'll keep it moving here. Nothing flashy there. Just wanted to show a couple of the out routes, things like that. All right, up next, you got 11 gun Dubs, boundary, Z Nasty, right? And he's going to do a little quick out here. So here he is in the Z again, right? Here's your tight end, right? So you're in 11 look. So you're in the boundary Z is where he's at. And he's just going to kind of same thing, work outside, and let's watch his hands on this out route here as well. It's a little out route. Look at that right there. Watch him go up, contested catch with a hand in his face. Great awareness, got his foot in bounds. Great play. Nothing too flashy, Tim. Just, again, watch the release package. Jab step. We're gone. Strong hands.
And you see the safety help over the top, but it's like if you're going to go one-on-one, I'm betting Matt Golden's going to win that matchup 80% of the time.
Yeah, and again, the thing that's sticking up early on the tape is strong hands, right? We're seeing it both first place here.
For sure. I think that's where the the Greg Jennings comparison really comes in, right? Sure-handed receivers for sure.
Yeah. All right. Now we're in 11 gun, Trey left, 2. All right. Trey left 2, boundary X. All right. So we're going boundary X, and it's going to be a go fade. So where's the boundary X? So we've seen him play X and we've seen him play Z so far, right? So here is the boundary, right? So there is Matthew Golden playing the X. Again,
against press coverage here too. This is going to be a good look here.
Yeah. On the line of scrimmage, opposite the tight end, who the Y is flex on this specific play. But let's watch here. We got a little go fade. So he's just going. Now here's the thing. This is a back shoulder throw. There was people going, he don't look fast to me. Guys, look at the leverage that the corner has here. The corner has the leverage. It's mirror match press man, okay? Mirror match man. So he's not actually going to put his hand on him. He's just going to mirror him the whole way. So he's not going to allow himself to get beat deep, but you could tell this is a back shoulder throw. That's why Golden is just kind of trotting. He didn't turn the burners on, right? Because he knows there's going to be limited space down there, and plus your quarterback's Quinn Ewers. Let's just kind of go with a little back shoulder fade right here. So,
that's why I said imagine this look, one-on-one coverage on the outside, and you get a better ball. Jordan's going to drop that ball right on the boundary at the 10-yard line. Yeah.
Definitely. And again, what are you seeing here? Somewhat of a contested catch, strong hands, good sideline awareness. We've seen him work the left side of the field. Now we're seeing him work the right side of the field. That's a big thing that we overlook as fans. We just assume everybody can catch from both sides. But the reality is most receivers, right? Look at this catch. Bang. Most receivers, they have a dominant side, right? A dominant eye and a side that they like the ball thrown to. So they like to work off the right or work off the left. And Matt LaFleur's offense, you got to be able to play both sides. Yeah, and that's what he does. But again, man, look at the great grab here, Tim.
Great eyes, looking it all the way in. Can we go back pre-snap? Is it possible?
You talking about the wide side?
Yeah, back to that other camera angle we were looking at. Because what I want to look at here, and I think I saw it the first time around, is, here we go. Press coverage. Watch the release. Yep. Goodbye. He's out of there already. I mean, he's already won at the line of scrimmage. That's another thing I don't think it's talked about enough with him, the release package that he has.
Yeah, no, he's got great feet, man. If you guys haven't been keeping up with the training and stuff in the offseason, got great footwork, and that's what wins you those releases. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
All right, and then one more look here from the end zone cam of the grab. Just a great grab, man. Beautiful catch.
Too old for this in the chat. I see Chalk Talk, but it's not Wheeling. This show sucks.
Sorry about it. That's the way it goes. 11 gun Dubs, F right. So he's in the slot now, Tim. We've seen him at the X, the Z, the X again. Now he's in the slot or the F, right? Going F right. He's going to cheat wide right and run a curl. So watch this cheat motion outside. So when people say, you remember when we were leading up to the draft, Tim, like, he's a slot receiver. We already got a slot receiver. This is what we're talking about. Motioning outside, he might as well be an outside receiver once this plays over, right?
Yep.
So he cheats out, and now he's just going to run a little curl, foot in the ground.
Oh,
done.
Boom, roasted.
Hands. And you've seen this all over the tape too, Tim. He would run these outside, these like comebacks or hitches, curls, whatever. See how he steps back toward the sideline? He curls in, but works back out, jab steps in, and creates another 3 to 4 yards.
And then when he comes out of the curl here, when he turns around, he's working back to the football too,
right?
Which is another thing. Sometimes you see younger receivers, they kind of flatten that route out and they're not working back to the ball. That's amazing. And the ability to go full speed like that and then on a dime, just stutter step here, cut that down, chop down. It's amazing, man.
Hey, look at the corner.
Yeah,
now,
he's done.
I promise you, they don't teach that technique.
No.
With your face all the way to the sideline while the receiver's turning in on a curl and you're trying to grab him with your arm.
They use tape like this to show corners how not to play coverage.
And then he had that guy in a turnstile the whole time. That was the other thing too. You seen him run through the arm tackle, right?
Yep.
Watch him run through the arm tackle here. Look at my boy. This reminds you of the Jacksonville tape here. Yep. Somebody screenshot it for me. Put it on Twitter. Tag me in Twitter. Look at that guy hanging on with one arm, looking like Tough Hedeman hanging off a bull right there.
I love it.
Man.
I love your point too about like the slot, right? Oh, he's a slot guy. No, he's not. He can play anywhere. And even if that's where he starts, it ain't where he's necessarily going to end up. And you see plays like that. It's like, oh yeah, it does. It reeks of Matt LaFleur's scheme, man. This is very similar to what we're going to be asking him to do at the pro level. Obviously, we'll just give him a reminder. You got to get 2 feet in at this level. That's about the only difference in the game, right?
Yeah. And here's another perfect example, Tim, right as you're saying that, okay? So 11 gun Dubs, he's in the slot, right? Well, he's just a slot receiver. Watch what happens. Post, cheat X. So they're going to cheat what would have been the X inside. Now he's the slot. And now Golden, guess what? Ends up being the X. So this is what Greg Cosell was talking about, breaking down the tape, going, anyone who thinks he's a slot receiver does not understand conceptually what Texas does and what Matt LaFleur does at the NFL level. This is exactly what we're talking about. But he's going to run another curl here, Tim. Watch the feet. Now look at how much cushion this guy's given. You think he doesn't know about Matthew Golden's speed?
Yeah, he's terrified that he's going to get beat deep.
Right, and then look at this. Just work it in. Great grab. Nothing fancy. Just get the job done. But again, the whole point of showing that play was look how they're respecting his speed. That's just an easy pitch and catch.
And then again, great example of what I talk about. Look at how compressed the route is. There's zero wasted motion.
Yep.
Like I know he's just running in a straight line and turning around or whatever, but I mean, he's fully in control of his body at all times. And this is why I think the Packers pulled the trigger on him for sure.
And again, the reason you don't see a highlight reel filled with him showing 4.2 speed is because Quinn Ewers, this is what Quinn Ewers does well, working underneath in space, right? Like in tight spaces, tight windows, timing routes. You see the little sidearm flick, change the arm angle, get it to your man, let him make a play. So, All right, up next, you got 11 gun, Trey Wright stack, slot lead, switch, and he's going to be a jab. It's going to be a jab and go. So you see right here, that's the stack we're talking about. He's technically in the slot because he's literally a half a step inside of the other receiver. And it's going to be a jab and go, all right? So he's going to jab out and run the non-route. So what he's going to do is get down here, a little jab and go, all right? And let's watch the route here.
DB's already cooked. Look it. He's already cooked.
Yeah. And you see this guy,
he's already cooked, man. But pre-snap, it's over.
His cheeks are tight right here. He's like, oh boy. Watch him, little jab, get low.
Bye.
Look how flat-footed right here. That's what we're talking about right there. And again, it's not that he did anything amazing with the footwork. It's they know his speed. Look, bang. We're off to the races. Do what you got to do to secure the catch. Right? I've seen some people saying, don't catch it with your body. In this situation right here, you catch it with your body. Protect that football and get on the ground.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just catch it.
So now we're seeing him in a stack look, right? And again, Quinn Ewers hanging that thing up there, right? He should have put it on the back line, but instead, should have let it go right there.
Yep.
And put it a little outside too would have helped a little bit as well. But
great job by Golden sticking with the assignment too, right? Because you're busting up the seam like that. It's real tempting to just take the 9 all the way
fade it out
and not sell it to the outside. And he had the patience to sell it just long enough.
Yeah. Again, you see him just make sure you catch the football right here. That's an easy 6. All right.
Yep.
So, All right. So there's a little jab and go right there. Coach Lynn says in the chat, Ewers is late on these throws. He's real late, Coach. Really, really late, man. 11 gun Dubs X. All right. So he's going to be playing X to the right on this play right here on the line of scrimmage opposite the tight end, makes him the X. He's going to be on the field side. He's going to run a little skinny out, or what we call, I think, a dog concept is what we came up with here. And we ran a lot of dog not a lot, but we ran several dog concepts last year. A dog is where the 2 runs kind of a quick, not even really a quick out. It's more of a flat almost. I guess it is an out right here. He's running underneath, and Golden is going to stretch and run over the top. So a dog, again, when we say the 2, you count the numbers outside in. Golden is the 1. This guy is the 2. Okay, so the 2 in a dog concept, whether it's on the left or the right, like if they had ran it over here, Tim, it's still a dog concept, right? Mm-hmm. It's still the same thing. So with the dog concept, the 2 runs underneath the 1 over the top. All right, and you'll notice, if I remember correctly, too, you'll see Golden recognize the leverage. It kind of almost worked back a little bit as well. And that's something that there may be a little bit of a choice route baked in there. I believe this is the play. See him get inside, and he's kind of pressing. He's pressing the safety right here. Now you're going to see the number 2 work out almost like a flat as opposed to a shallow out. And then bang, watch him come back to the football. Boom. Look at the high point. Look at that shot right there, Tim.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Just again, this is what we're talking about. For him to only be 5'11", he's got decent ups, but also his ability to be able to time the jump, the high point, and snatch that ball away from number 2. Watch him again here. This is pretty remarkable.
The thing that I really love is when he goes up here, secure the catch, and then immediately turn that ball away from the defender. Put your body between the ball and the defender. Yep. Look at him adjust in space, turn, keep the ball safe. Love it.
And again, you'd like to see the quarterback put that further outside for him, but he kind of hangs it inside. Oh, yeah. Matthew Golden goes and bells him out, man.
Yeah, you'd like to see that ball out further. You're right. Toe tapper, and it's a tutter. But instead, we get to see some tape of Matthew Golden's athletic ability. Gotta love it.
Yeah, this is a great shot right here. You're going to actually be able to see the catch. Watch this right here, boys. Look at that.
See the hand? The defender's hand's in there. You got to turn and protect that football. This is what we talk about, strong hands. Yeah, look at him get up there. He's got to be what? What do we get on the vertical for him? Do we got the RAS? He's got to be.
Man, somebody find it for me in the chat. Somebody
push 40, right? He's got to be 35 or higher.
I don't know if he did the vertical, Tim. I think he just did the 40 and maybe some agility stuff. I could be wrong. See if you guys can find that vertical. I think the RAS, it'll be on the RAS card for sure.
Hey, that left foot right there looks about 2.5 feet off the ground. I'm just saying.
It's crazy, dude. Crazy. Again, just the timing too, man. He's so smooth at the catch point. Strong hands. All right, moving along. Now we're going 11 gun dubs X. Going to be a curl, okay? And the DB going to have a deep set here. So what did he just say about it?
Boss says
hands like AFAM's mom. Unbelievable. This chat's out of control. All right, X. So let's find the X. Where's the tight end? Right here on the line of scrimmage opposite. So here he is. You've seen he's playing the X quite a bit, Tim. Could it be that they're going to play him in the X instead of the Z? Could that be the case?
I'm gonna vote C, all of the above.
Right. So he's gonna run a curl. Let's see if this corner does have a deep set here. See if the corner respects his speed. Oh yeah. Look at that spacing right there. Are you kidding me? That's what you're looking for right there. This dude said, no way you're gonna beat me deep, buddy. Not gonna happen. So to go back to Ron Samvel's question earlier, these kind of feel like choice routes. That could have been a go. And as soon as our boy committed deep underneath, again, jab step out, work back in, pick up another 8 yards.
I agree. And those are some of those simple choice routes that they can put on his plate right away and expect him to not be able to handle it. It's exactly what he was doing in college. Yep. He's going to do it at the pro level with a better quarterback, Yeah.
Just let him know, hey, like with that right there, that's something a rookie can handle. It's a two-way choice, right?
Yeah.
If they snug up, if we're even, you're leaving, right? Turn it into a 9 route, right? Yep. If they play soft, if they give you 6 to 8 yards cushion, turn that thing into a curl and give us some yak.
And give us that yak, yep. Like he does right here. What's that, 8 yards?
10 yards.
Yep.
It's like 10, yes. He caught it on the 49. Look, actually the 48.
Wow, yeah, 48 to the 38, 10 yards after the catch.
Quick. And that's
Tuck Norris ain't the only one with the yak. Let's go.
Yak and cheese, baby. 11 gun nasty, Trey right, F cheat wide, right. And he's going to do a little stutter go here, okay? So, again, now he's in the stack. He's technically in the F, right, the slot. And what he's going to do is this is out of a Trey look, right? 1, 2, 3, with one of those 3 being the tight end here. And they're in a nasty split. Everybody on the field is in a nasty split. So he's going to cheat out. And then he's going to give a little stutter go is what I think we've got here. This is the SEC championship against Kirby Smart's Georgia Bulldogs. All right. Kirby Smart, in my opinion, is the best college coach in college football right now. And his forte, his strength of being a coach is on the defensive side of the ball. Watch Golden right here. We'll stutter go. We're going to bend him out right here. Just a little whoop and then get lost. Right. Oh. Now, once again, that ball should have been thrown out here, right? But instead, kind of hangs it up, just secures the catch. I heard somebody say, too, it doesn't look like 4.2 speed to me. Why didn't he run away from that guy? He had to do a 360 in the air, come back to the football, and lost momentum, my man.
And he had to slow his route down there. He's even stuttering before he spins.
Right. Like right here, he knows he's probably not going to be able to throw this thing out the gym for me. So let me
Yep.
Yeah.
And you got to have faith that Jordan in that situation right there, as soon as he beats him, that ball's coming out. It's going to get out in time.
Yeah. 2-0 for this nasty split. Nasty split is AFM's mom name in the club.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm about to put y'all in timeout. Y'all are out.
That's horrible.
Out of control, man. Out of control. All right. Up next, we've got 11 gun Dubs F cheat wide. So we're going to go back out wide right again. So you're seeing him lining up in the 2 and cheating out wide quite a bit, right? This is going to be a stop and go. So he's actually going to get out here, Tim. They're going to cheat out, right? Little cheat motion. Get out here, stop, and then run a go route. I would imagine that's what it's going to be. It's probably going to be more kind of like a curl and go as opposed to like an out and up or something. Let's see here. Yeah, see the curl. Whoop. Again, ball underthrown. Had to thing I noticed too, when the ball is underthrown like this for Matthew Golden, he does a good job pacing himself and kind of bodying out the corner. Watch him right here. Kind of play that leverage game a little bit.
Dude, he hit him with the Michael Jackson smooth criminal right there. Look, boop, bye, spin move.
Down. Again, man, great contested catch. Love this dude, man. His tape is fun to watch. Again, you guys see
it's going to be fun to see Jordan lead him a little far and have to watch him turn on the afterburners and run one down. You know, that's what we want to see.
Yeah. Again, look at that right there. It doesn't get any better than that. Is that Kirby Smart running down the sideline too, going, that son of a gun better not? He caught it. Son of a. Look at that grab, boys. Seriously.
Yeah. And probably the best defense they played against all year, right?
He had 2 hands in his face, Tim. Look.
No problem.
Look.
His eyes on the ball.
Look
at that. Look at that diamond pattern on the hands right there, baby.
And watch this guy's hand too. He tried to get a hand in his face. Look. I can't tell if it's Kirby or not. But anyway, great grab. He knows it too. You can't defend that, man. What are you going to do? All right, now we're in 12-gun Trey Wright boundary X. He's going to run a corner route here, okay? So we're in the boundary. He must be off the screen, I'm guessing. I may have labeled this wrong too. Did he start? He started in the boundary X. Got you. So they cheated out. And there's the corner. Look at that. Look at that right there, man. Look at the separation right here. That's what you're looking like or looking for on the corner route. So, again, he knows – looks like it's probably a back or 2 inside leverage. Give him that little hezzy.
Dude, it's
corner route.
Outrunning, man.
Yeah. Chris, man. So, now we've seen the corner route in his arsenal, right? So.
I love that little subtle look back. Right there. Bye.
Mm-hmm. And, again, if he's led a little more up the field, you probably turn that thing up.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Here we got a 21 pony. That sound familiar?
Uh-oh.
So we got 21 pony, the pony package. It's a double sidecar gun set, and he's going to be the Z here. Where's the Z at? There's your tight end. So he's on the tight end side, which is also he's on the field side this time as opposed to the boundary, right?
This is one of my favorite routes to watch him run, by the way.
Yeah, just a dig route.
Yep.
Yeah. So watch him on the dig with the dig. Again, they're pressing up a little bit, so he's just going to work inside, hit him with the dig. Let's see if he gets any yak after this as well. Inside release, bang.
Oh, goodbye. It's over.
Separation. Seriously. This is the guy in man coverage right here, gang. Look at the separation. And then hits him with a spin move. Just about broke it. Again, look at the separation. Watch. Foot in the ground. Bang. It's over. Notice the safety. Look at the safety. The safety trying to protect.
He had to, because look at him at the end there, kind of bait him to the outside. He almost looked like he was going to run right up the hash there.
Yep.
And then he cut it in at the last second. That safety was out of the play the whole time.
Yeah. Nice dig route. So now we're seeing the deep dig there, right? So.
Yep.
All right. Up next, we've got 11 pistol. We ran some pistol last year. So again, the pistol is the quarterback in the gun set with the running back directly behind him. And with the 11, you see these
strap, baby.
He's out here. You damn near got a Baylor split out here with 0 to start with, right? But he's going to be running a Z curl. So that's him on the boundary side. So he's in the boundary Z. Watch him work the curl. See if he jabs out and then tries to make a guy miss afterwards. Watch him catch, out, back in.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at this. So we're starting. He caught the ball at really the 34-yard line, right? And he turned that into what was that? Almost 20 yards a yak?
Yeah. And if you look at Georgia's safeties, neither one of them knew he even had the ball. Look at them. Yeah. They're chasing a ghost down the field.
Look at number 6, poor guy. He's like, oh, crap.
Man.
Yeah. Great route, man. Again, one of the things that you notice that he does well, runs the curl in and then works back to the sideline with a little to kind of give him some separation and then back inside.
Yep. And again, the release. Look at that release, man. Like the slightest little bait with the left shoulder right here. Ooh, bye.
Yeah.
Just enough to get that DB to flip his hips. That's all you need.
Yeah. Looks like that was 10, 15, 16 yards a yak right there on a curl route where they were playing press too, or not press, but mirror match, right? If you guys are wondering what mirror match is, you've got two different types of press, man. You got mirror match press and you got, full contact press, essentially. Coach probably calls it something else. But when you jam with regular press, you're putting both hands on the receiver, jamming him at the line of scrimmage, and you're trying to slow the timing down of the route concept, of the passing concept, the combination, if you will, right? With mirror match press, what you're doing is you're up on the line of scrimmage, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You're mirroring his movement without putting a hand on him, okay? So press man, contact. Mirror match, it's just you're simply mirroring the receiver's movement. So when you got somebody playing mirror match press right here, look at this, and he still cooks you underneath, that's good footwork. Darn good footwork.
Love it.
In the yak afterwards. So there we go.
Shout out Cheesehead Murph in the chat. Better late than never, brother. Glad you're here.
On the Mount Rushmore PTA viewers, listeners.
You know it.
All right, Tim, that's it, man. That's Chalk Talk. Matthew Golden, anything else you got before we wrap up, Buff?
Yeah, as if I couldn't be more excited for camp. I'm fired up now after watching some more tape on Matthew Golden, man. It's going to be exciting. Yeah. And I think we're going to see plenty of him running with the ones pretty quickly at camp.
I've had several people reach out to me this week going, man, everybody took a vacation during the dead time and you're breaking down tape. This is the time to do it. This is the time to do it, man. Football never sleeps.
365 days a year, baby.
I'm telling you, man, like this is the best time to go back and watch the tape from last year and then go, we got this new crop of prospects. Like we're going to do Rashan Gary Chalk Talk tomorrow and show his top plays and what he did really well last year. So we'll hit on that. We're breaking down Baron Sorrell and kind of, hey, this looks like the blueprint they're trying to follow, the same thing they did with Gary. I know it's not a first-round pick, but, boy, their fourth-rounders have been hits here lately, right? So they're 3 for 4 right now. We're just waiting to see if Jacob Monk ends up being a hit. So, yeah, going to be awesome, man, for sure. So, all right, that's it. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We got a vertical? There we go.
Did we get one?
Ron comment. So he didn't do the jump at the combine, but they have reported a 34-inch vertical. That's pretty darn good, right? I want to say that's
for a guy his size, I'll take it.
I'm trying to think of what that would score him on the RAS, but the card I seen was incomplete. Thank y'all for running that down, whoever it was. Ron Sample really contributing to the show. I seen everybody else just roasting AFAM in the chat all night, so unbelievable. But
my wife says 365 days a year. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Yeah,
exactly. She said, I got the papers drawn up right now. Ron Sample, 94th percentile with that vertical 10. Let's go. Let's go. So Weed says Monk was a 5th, not a 4th. My bad on that, man. My bad. So, yeah, we hit on our 4th. And if it was Evan Williams our only 4th rounder that year? Evan Williams was a 4th rounder, right, Tim? Did I misspeak?
Yes, he was, I believe.
So, yeah. All right. That's it, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for that correction there. We appreciate you, bub. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. hit that like button on the way out. The best way to support what we do here, join our Patreon community. You'd be on the message boards over there, as well as exclusive content, all that good stuff, the giveaways. You can also enter our fantasy football league, which, has some prizes attached to it as well. Just go to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. If you don't have Patreon, you're not familiar with Patreon, and you want to support the channel, do what our good friend David McKenzie did. Right below this video, you'll see a little join tab. Just click join, and that helps keep the lights on here at PTA as well, helps to provide the equipment and everything we need to keep this show going. All right. And again, shout out to David McKenzie for becoming a YouTube member. You'll also be entered into the giveaways. We're going to do the MAC giveaway, the autographed Dorsey Levens jersey this weekend, and then we're going to get back to giving away some awesome autograph cards, things like that. So that being said, Tim, appreciate your time. We're out of here, guys. Everybody have a wonderful evening. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack Go.
Here we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.